Hello everyone. Right, well, today I'm doing the infamous Jimmy Savile. I met Jimmy Savile. I'm going to tell you what I thought of him, and I'm going to make a little documentary, but it's not going to be like a BBC production. This is just going to, obviously not, but it's going to be um, hopefully people that actually have first-hand experience. I mean, the good stuff about this is that, you know, people like him probably won't be able to get away with that nowadays. Somebody's backing up here. I thought they're sort of watching me, but um, it's yeah. I mean, it was a culture. We all probably seen other documentaries where it was a cultural one of the BBC. They all had so much power. All these celebrities, not just Jimmy Savile, but we all know the Stuart Hall and Rolf Harris and Gary Glitter and all these sort of people. But um, in my documentary, I want people to come forward and give their experiences of the guy himself. I mean, there is a film being produced at the moment with Steve Coogan, and some people say, should they do it? By the way, I'm going to show you where I am. Look, should they do it? Because of the subject of it. It's a lovely park. That's Roundy Park. Um, but yeah, I mean, it highlights it, and hopefully that kind of thing and it won't happen again. It probably won't ever to the same degree. Um, but I think it has an interest factor, and it also, as I say, highlights the deficiencies of the television system. You can see these are all the properties leading up to the one which Jimmy Savile lived in. So what we're going to do, strange guy in a car is sort of backing up, watching all the time on his phone. Can you see there? Look, it's followed me all the way. Well, I don't think it's following me, but um, it's strange behaviour, put it that way. So the thing was, I met Jimmy Savile. Um, I was Uri Geller's web manager, and through that, I he'd been on Uri Geller's show at least once, if not twice.
Have you ever had any chance to use these powers for the good of people?
Mankind.
Yeah.
Well, Jimmy, I don't think today I can already use these powers to the good of people because I have no final explanation to them. And I hope in the near future I could put this power, but to good use somewhere. I mean, not technically more, but to help people more.
Good, I like it.
But
So Jimmy Savile, to cut long story short, it will all come out in the rest of the interviews, arranged to meet me in Otley. And on the day in question, he was going to buy some cigars in the centre of Otley. And he arranged to meet me at the little cafe near the river. And yeah, he turned up. He was in a private car, old private car with a driver. And he came into the cafe. This is the block he lived in. Look, I'm not going to go into too much detail at the moment, but that's the block there. The flat was bought and demolished in 2016, so the penthouse suite isn't the same one now, but this is the actual property called Lakeside View. So that's where Jimmy Savile lived, one of his properties anyway. There's another one in Scotland and other places, but there we are. So yeah, to get to the story, Jimmy turned up, and I thought, how's it going to go? And I said, I'd like to, the usual thing, I'd like to ask you some questions. And he started off straight away with, you can't ask me questions like that. I'm a shifty guy, you know. And I thought, well, so anyway, it boiled down to this. We got down to, I'll go into more detail later on the next one, when it's the main programme. By the way, I am wanting anybody out there that's met Jimmy Savile to come forward. Because if you've met Jimmy Savile, that's what I want to know. What you made of him, how it came over. So, we got into this story. I'm not going to film the block too much, but it's there, look, you can see. You can see. I mean, it's a private block now, isn't it? So, this is how it went, basically. First of all, I was a web manager, of Uri Geller, and I don't want to name drop too much, but Roger Moore, so Roger Moore. So I said, would you like to have a website? No. He said, I don't want a website because people will think I'm looking at porn all the time. And I mean, who thinks that when you said, do you want a website? And he says, they won't catch me. The press would love it. There's no way. And that's how it went. And then we sort of basically moved on to, well, how can I ask more questions, you know? And I mean, he was giving me that vibe. You've got to remember that at this point, I personally admired Jimmy Savile. I didn't know about any of the stuff like everybody else. And there'll be the lake over there, by the way. I'm going to go look at it. What I didn't know anything. So what I did, I'll come back to me so you can see. I mean, I basically said to him, would you like a website? And then he shocked me with this. I had read his book, Love is an Uphill Climb. I admired that book. I thought he was a very clever guy because he'd come from a poor background. He was down the mine. I read the stories, you know, he went down the mine in a white suit. He came out spotless, and all the rest of the miners couldn't work out how he managed to come out spotless. But he used to strip his clothes off at the end of the seam on his own, do his shift, do the coal, get his flask out, wash his hands and face, come out spotless. So that shocked everybody, and it kind of remained that element for the rest of his life. I mean, there's tons of stories that I can recall that I've read, but you know, I mean, later on when he became a notorious DJ and nightclub owner, not notorious, but you know, well known, he would buy an old Bentley that was absolutely buggered, and then he would get a new grill, respray. The inside would be wrecked, but he'd drive past everybody on the way to the nightclub, and everybody thought, "Wow, Jimmy's doing well." But he'd park it in the car park. Nobody'd see it then, and it looked like he was doing really well, but it was an old car. He thought cleverly, you know. He did the first DJ. Realised you could make money out of just spinning records, and people paid to hear what they could hear at home on their own. He blew the thing up a few times because amplifiers weren't good. And then, of course, Top of the Pops, like he said, you watch that show, 45 minutes, how much of it is me? Basically, 5 minutes, if that. But he's all through the show. You know, he's there on and off all the way through. So, you know, and he sort of dominated the show without having to spend the entire time on screen. So he's a clever guy, you know. Have another look at the house from here. The flat, sorry. You can see. There we are. So that is how it went. So what I'm asking people to do, I'm going to ask Uri Geller, see if he wants to do it too, because he met him. He won't know him. It's like everybody else, you know. You meet these people, but you do form an impression. And he was on his TV show in the 70s when Uri was quite famous, doing his spoon bending. So I'm going to reach out to anybody out there. If you know any good stories or you met Jimmy Savile, please let me know. Send me a direct message, you know, on I'll just leave a message on here, on YouTube, whatever. This is the back of the property. I'm heading around the back now. I forgot to put my, what they call it, dead cat on the mic, so I'm hoping you can hear me all right through the wind. Please excuse me if it's not so good, you know. So let's see what happens. I'm not going to rush this project. I want it to be like an interesting thing where we get an insight into this infamous character from people that actually met him. And as I say, my overall experience was one of slight shock because at the end of the day, it wasn't what I expected. So here we go. This is the rear look. You see? The top story penthouse was Jimmy Savile's. I may have to rectify this, but I believe it was bought for £260,000, 250, and then another time 300,000, and then it was demolished. So it's not the same penthouse suite, but this is the view that Jimmy Savile would have had, and that's the lake down there. It's a lovely spot actually. It's got a slight, I must gotta say, it's got a slightly weird feeling here, but I guess that's me. thinking of the subject matter. So come back to the channel, and if you enjoy the film, please subscribe and ding the bell for future videos, and leave a comment and a thumbs up like everybody says, but I mean, it's true, it kind of makes the thing work, doesn't it? And then we can make more interesting films. So that's it for today. We're in Roundy Park, outside the infamous Jimmy Savile's. You can see it in the background there, look. Jimmy Savile's old apartment and stomping ground. So we'll see what comes forward. But to recap, my personal opinion of him, even though I admired him, I was a fan. On the day that he died, I was thinking of going to the funeral. I didn't. I was definitely thinking of going to the auction and buying something. I mean, just imagine the person who bought the Rolls Royce or something like that, you know, and then when you've bought it, and all this came out, you know, about what he'd been. I mean, the royal family, he used to be guiding them all the time. The influential people that he knew, and that's why nobody could touch him. So come back and we'll see what we can make of the rest of it. I'll be going to his flat in Scarborough, where his grave was, and various other places, and we'll try and do a personal touch on this. And it'll be interesting to see who I can get. See if I can get Uri to comment if he thinks it's something he wants to be involved with, Uri Geller. Anyway, thank you for the moment. Take care. See you all soon. Bye-bye. Motorhome beep beep. See ya. Bye-bye.